Hello, hope you're doing well, and welcome to my SMITE 2 SCYLLA guide. SCYLLA, the Horror of the Deep, has surfaced in SMITE 2 with a vengeance, bringing along childlike laughter, hound-headed tentacles, and a monstrous appetite for destruction. She's terrifying, chaotic, and absolutely adorable. If you consider watching your enemies getting dragged into the abyss by writhing horrors adorable, that is. And in this video, I'm going to teach you absolutely everything you need to know to master SCYLLA. SCYLLA is a ranged magical damage dealer who specializes in bursting down her targets with devastating ability combos. She excels at high pressure wave clear, range crowd control, and one-shot potential from mid to late game. Her passive rewards early skill investment, scaling her power as the match progresses, while her ultimate is capable of chaining multi-kills in teamfights with the right timing and positioning. If you enjoy high stakes, high reward gameplay and obliterating squishy targets before they can even blink, SCYLLA is an absolute blast to learn and master. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my future SMITE 2 guides, as I'll be covering all of the characters in SMITE 2. Also check out my Discord server if you have any questions or want to join a friendly, toxic-free SMITE community. Now let's dive into SCYLLA's abilities. SCYLLA's passive is Quick Learner. This unique trait causes each of her abilities to gain bonus effects when fully leveled. Additionally, she gains bonus intelligence and mana regen for each maxed out ability. What makes this passive especially impactful is that it encourages you to max out your first and second ability as early as possible, even if it means skipping points in your ultimate until later. This is because the enhanced versions of these basic abilities become significantly more powerful and can offer more value than early ranks in her ultimate. It's a rare case in SMITE where you want to delay upgrading your ultimate in favor of maxing out one of your core abilities. This is one of them. SCYLLA's first ability is Sikkim. She sends out two spectral hounds in a line that root, cripple, and damage the first enemy god they collide with. Once fully ranked, Sikkim becomes even deadlier by hitting up to two additional enemies near the original target, turning a single target lockdown into a small-scale teamfight disruptor. This ability is the bread and butter behind all of her combos' setup. Her second ability is Crush. SCYLLA drops a magical field that slows all enemies within the zone and detonates after a short delay, dealing massive burst damage. You can also manually detonate it early for faster control. Once maxed, it gains the ability to shred magical protections from any enemies caught in the area, making it a potent tool for softening up enemies before follow-up damage, or for deleting squishies outright. This is your main form of poke and wave clear, so you want to make sure that you max this first. SCYLLA's third ability is Sentinel. She deploys a wolf-like sentry that grants vision of the area for several seconds. She can then reactivate the ability to leap to the Sentinel's location, gaining a temporary buff to her next basic attack. Once fully upgraded, the empowered basic attack also reduces the cooldowns of her other abilities when it hits a god. This ability provides vision, repositioning, and a sneaky bit of extra burst, but its real value is in its safety. It's typically ranked last. And finally, SCYLLA's ultimate is I'm a Monster. She transforms into her true form, gaining crowd control immunity and bonus movement speed for a short duration. During this time, she can fire a single high damage nuke at a target location. If this ability kills an enemy god, the ability resets and she may cast it again. This allows for terrifying multi-kill potential in teamfights, especially when paired with good positioning and coordination. However, as mentioned earlier, you may want to delay leveling this ability until your first and second are fully ranked, due to the overwhelming value that they provide once maxed. Now that we've covered SCYLLA's abilities and you understand what they do, let's talk about how to use them efficiently in combos. First and foremost, I want to talk about weaving basic attacks between abilities. This is absolutely critical to maximizing SCYLLA's magical damage output. Her abilities hit like a truck, but these extra auto attacks in between not only amp your total damage, they help secure kills that would otherwise slip away. You should be auto attacking between every cast no matter what build you're running. Let's start with her bread and butter combo, the one you will be using most of the time. Auto attack into a Sikkim, followed by another auto attack into Crush, and finishing off with one final auto attack. This combo is quick, efficient, and deadly. You open with a basic attack, then lock them down with Sikkim. Follow up with another basic attack, then drop the Crush on them, and finish with one more auto attack while they're stuck in the detonation. At max rank, this combo can delete squishies if you land everything cleanly. The next combo is very similar to the first one, however it does incorporate your ultimate in place of Crush. This is great when your Crush is down or just need a little bit of extra burst damage to finish the job. It goes an auto attack straight into your Sikkim, followed by an auto attack straight into I'm a Monster. This is your go-to when you're trying to clean up a kill and get that sweet reset. Just remember, Your ult won't root or slow like your other abilities, so try to lead it or wait until they're locked in place before firing it off. And finally, let's go over your full burst all-in combo, the one you break out when you want to absolutely annihilate someone. Open up with an auto attack and follow up with a Sikkim to lock them in place. After another subsequent auto attack, throw in your crush and instantly start channeling I'm a Monster. Both the crush and the I'm a Monster should be detonated at the same time for an incredible burst of damage. This is a true one-shot combo. The trick here is to detonate your two at the exact same time as your ultimate lands. If you do it right, both hits will go off simultaneously, overwhelming the enemy with pure burst. It's flashy, it's satisfying, and it will win your fights before the enemy even realizes they're in danger. If you want to see these combos in action, be sure to check out my channel where I've posted SCYLLA gameplay that shows all of these in real matches. And if you'd rather catch it live, or just want to ask me questions directly, stop by my Twitch stream. It's a chill spot and I'm always happy to help. Now that you know exactly how to play SCYLLA, let's go over where you should be playing her. SCYLLA shines brightest in the mid lane. This role lets her farm safely, scale up quickly, and access teamfights from an ideal range. With strong poke, reliable wave clear, and an explosive late game damage, she becomes a terrifying presence once she gets a few levels and items online. Her ability to one-shot squishies from a distance while staying relatively safe makes her a perfect fit for mid. If you're picking up SCYLLA, this is where you'll be using her most of the time to unlock her full potential. SCYLLA can work in the jungle, but she's not ideal. While her burst can help with ganks, she lacks mobility and doesn't have the best jungle clear early on. You'll also have to be careful with your positioning during rotation since you don't have a true escape besides your third ability, and if you're using your third ability to go in and initiate and assassinate someone, then you won't have any other way to get away. Your cooldowns are long if you miss. That said, in the right hands with proper map awareness, you can definitely make it work. But it's more of a high risk, high reward playstyle than most people are bargained for. SCYLLA just does not have the survivability or presence to handle solo lane. Her kit lacks sustain, hard mitigation, or trading tools that this role so desperately demands. You'll be pushed under tower constantly and forced to play on the back foot the entire laning phase, which delays her already slow power curve. Best to leave solo to the bruisers and tanks. While SCYLLA has some crowd control with her root and cripple, she lacks peel sustain, frontline presence, she's too squishy to engage and too damage focused to protect her team. In short, you're not bringing what a support should bring. There are far better picks for this role. And finally, SCYLLA isn't an auto attacker. She doesn't have the range or tools to box traditional ADCs. Her entire playstyle revolves around abilities and burst damage, which doesn't translate well to the duo lane. She struggles to keep up in early trades and offers little objective pressure compared to actual hunters. If you want to get the most value out of SCYLLA, then you should stick to mid lane. That's where she shines the brightest. Now that you know where to play her, let's move on and talk about what you should be building on her. I can't give you an exact build for SCYLLA as items in SMITE 2 often go through changes and fall in and out of the meta, but I can tell you which stats to focus on and suggest some core items. For SCYLLA, your priority should be high intelligence, cooldown reduction, and penetration to maximize her ability-based burst damage. For intelligence, strong options include Book of Thoth, Dumorb, Rod of Tahuti, and Polynomicon, which are all excellent picks for her damage output. And as I mentioned earlier, Polynomicon is one core item that you'll often want to opt into. It synergizes incredibly well with her kit and boosts her auto attacks after an ability, which is key for those quick one-shot combos. For cooldown reduction, items like Spear of Desolation, Soul Gem, and Chronos Pendant will allow you to cycle through your abilities much faster, which is essential when playing a high burst caster like SCYLLA. And for penetration and tank shred, Obsidian Shard, Totem of Death, and Soul Reaver are all standout choices. These will let you chunk even the tankiest enemies and stay relevant against frontline heavy comps. Now remember that these items are just suggestions as they depend on variables such as your situation, team composition, and the enemy team comp. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, items are consistently buffed and nerfed, falling in and out of the meta. That being said, the stats themselves are consistent, so it doesn't really matter which items you buy as long as you're focusing on the stats that your character requires. But if you do want completed builds, feel free to join my Discord server where I or other community members can help you out with your builds or any other questions you may have. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want some non-toxic friends to play SMITE with, our Discord server is the perfect place for you. Now that you've got your build in order, let's go over some final tips and tricks to help you dominate with SCYLLA. My first tip is to make use of SCYLLA's passive. SCYLLA's passive gives her extra magical power every time she maxes out an ability. Because of this, it might be optimal to skip leveling your ultimate after it's been leveled once in favor of that extra power and also extra effects on top of your abilities. My second tip is to always weave auto attacks in between your abilities. SCYLLA's autos hit hard and her kit rewards precision. Throwing in basic attacks between each cast dramatically increases your overall damage output and lets you secure kills that would otherwise slip away. Especially with Polynomicon in your build, these empowered autos are no joke. My third tip is positioning is everything. SCYLLA is one of those squishiest characters in the game, and while she can delete someone in a second, she also deleted just as fast. Stay in the backline, hug your supports and tanks, and look for flanks or cleanup opportunities from a safe distance. Tend to use your 3 only when you need it as an escape, and really try to stay away from using it just for that damage empowered auto attack, unless you know you're going to be safe while doing so. And finally, don't be afraid to spam your abilities, especially once you have cooldown reduction online. SCYLLA thrives in extended poke battles, and her first and second abilities are low commitment, high reward for zoning tools. Keep pressure on enemies constantly and punish anyone who walks a little bit too close with a combo. And that's it, you've reached the end of the SCYLLA guide. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other SMITE 2 guides and subscribe for more content. If you have any questions, join my Discord for more tips and a friendly community of SMITE players. And finally, follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me play SMITE live or ask questions directly. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye!